Evening. Welcome to the October 3rd Council meeting. If you would please stand, Councilman Flores is going to lead us in the flag salute.
Please place your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much, Chris. Our first proclamation this evening is for Domestic Violence Awareness Month, which is October. I'd like to call up June Sano, City of Chino's clinical specialist, Pat Bell, House of Ruth Chief Executive Officer, and Rhonda Beltran, House of Ruth Chief Development Officer. We're missing somebody. And it reads, whereas about 1 in 5 women and nearly 1 in 13 men have experienced contact sexual violence, physical violence, or stalking by an intimate partner during their lifetime and reported at least one impact of violence. Whereas the problem of domestic violence is not confined to any group or groups of people, but crosses all economical, racial, gender, educational, religious, and societal barriers, and is sustained by societal indifference. The crime of domestic violence violates an individual's privacy, dignity, security, and humanity due to the systematic use of physical, emotional, sexual, psychological, and economic control and/or abuse. And whereas approximately 16 million women and 11 million men who reported experiencing contact sexual violence, physical violence, or stalking by an intimate partner in their lifetime, said that they had first experienced these forms of violence before the age of 18. Victims of violence should have access to medical and legal services, counseling, transitional housing, and other supportive services so they can escape the cycle of abuse. The House of Ruth provides life-saving domestic violence services for residents of Los Angeles and San Bernardino counties, and the City of Chino works closely with the County of San Bernardino to offer Choices Batters Treatment, a court-mandated program to help individuals identify and manage anger issues. And whereas the City of Chino is committed to working in partnership to increase public awareness of domestic violence and to eliminate it through prevention and education. Now, therefore, I, Eunice Emilio, Mayor of the City of Chino, do hereby proclaim October 23, 2023 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month and urge all citizens to work towards the elimination of domestic violence in our community.
Thank you, Mayor Ulloa and council members, for acknowledging October as Domestic Violence Prevention Month. This is such an important issue in our community. When we hear the statistics, 1 in 5 and 1 in 13 men have experienced some type of domestic violence in their home life, and especially hearing the staggering numbers of people who've developed or experienced that as minors, it's heartbreaking. So we are here to just represent that we do have services here at the City of Chino. We provide counseling services. Of course, if you have a family or are a family that is in need of counseling services to handle issues happening in your home, please call 909-334-3259 for our counseling services. And we also do offer the Choices anger management classes for those who are court mandated to help deal with anger issues, to help better learn how to communicate in healthier ways. And so we do have those services offered at that same phone number. So if you are court mandated and need those anger management classes, we offer them. And we have worked in collaboration for many years with House of Ruth, who we just know they help so many people dealing with these very difficult circumstances in their family. So we have Rhonda and Pat, who just made it through traffic, to be here. So please go ahead.
I'll just quickly and then hand it to Pat. I just want to say thank you so much for your support in supporting House of Ruth and recognizing October as Domestic Violence Awareness Month. I'd be remiss to not invite you to our candlelight vigil, which we are hosting on Thursday, October 26th at our main campus, our outreach campus at 599 North Main Street in Pomona. And that is where we honor those that have passed due to domestic violence. So we would like to extend an invitation to all of you to attend that event on our campus. And again, I would personally like to thank you on behalf of our survivors for your support. I'd like to pass it to our CEO, Pat Bell.
Thank you very much. I apologize for being late. Traffic was a bit scary. I'm very glad to be here with all of you this evening, and I just want to remind everyone that House of Ruth is an agency that serves the city of Chino. All of your residents can come to us for help and assistance if they are experiencing violence in their home. And we offer residential shelter, counseling services. We've got some housing support. So anything that will help stabilize your family and ensure that you're in a safe place, please call our hotline. Let's see, 877-988-5559. Thank you very much for recognizing this month, Mayor and City Council members. We are very grateful for your support. And June, it's always a pleasure to work with you. Thank you.
Domestic violence is one of those kind of hidden secrets that nobody wants to talk about, but it can escalate so easy. It starts very small, and before you know it's out of control. So if you're experiencing that or know someone who is, please reach out and get help. Thank you very much, ladies. Next, we have Community Planning Month. I'd like to call up Kevin Cisneros, City of Chino Planning Commissioner Chair, Jimmy Alexandris, City of Chino Planning Commission Vice Chair, and any members of the Planning Commission that are here this evening. Hi, Kevin. Great, Mayor. Good. Oh, look at you run right up. Dude runs right up and gets up in front real quick. Whereas change is constant and affects all cities, towns, suburbs, counties and rural areas and other places. And whereas community planning and plans can help manage this change in a way that provides better choices of how people work and live. Community planning provides an opportunity for all residents to be meaningfully involved in making choices that determine the future of their community. The full benefits of planning require public officials and citizens who understand, support, and demand excellence in planning and plan implementation. And whereas the month of October is designated as National Community Planning Month throughout the United States of America and its territories, the American Planning Association and its professional institute, the American Institute of Certified Planners, endorsed National Community Planning Month as an opportunity to highlight the contributions sound planning and plan implementation make to the quality of our settlements and environment. The celebration of National Community Planning Month gives us the opportunity to publicly recognize the participation and dedication of the members of the Chino Planning Commission and other citizen planners who have contributed their time and expertise to the improvement of the city of Chino. And whereas we recognize the many valuable contributions made by the professional city planners of the city of Chino and extend our heartfelt thanks for the continued commitment to public service by these professionals. Now, therefore, I, Eunice Miloa, Mayor of the city of Chino, do hereby proclaim October 2023 as Community Planning Month and presenting this the third day of October.
Thank you, Mayor Ulloa. It is an honor to accept this proclamation on behalf of the Community Development Department and my fellow City of Chino commissioners. I'd like real quick to recognize the commissioners that are here. We have Commissioner Lewis, Vice Chair Alexandris, Commissioner Fraga, Commissioner Chavez, Commissioner Vieira, and Commissioner Blanchard. Thank you all for being here to accept this proclamation with me. Together we strive to continue to develop this beautiful city of Chino with balance in accordance with the general plan and Measure M. It is our goal to continue to create a city that individuals and families want to live in and do business in. I also want to take this opportunity to thank all of our planning department, our community development department, they're standing back here, and all of the staff who put in so much work on every project that comes before the commission. Thank you. I also want to say thank you, Mayor Ulloa, and to our council members for giving us the opportunity to serve as your City of Chino Planning Commissioners. Thank you.
Next is recognition of Chino Youth Boxing Foundation's Saturday Night Fights boxers. The Chino Youth Boxing Foundation hosted the event Saturday Night Fights on October 26th at the Neighborhood Activity Center. The event was a sparring showcase and fundraiser that sold out to 200 people in attendance. Councilmember Burton was the MC for the evening, guiding the audience through the excitement. The audience was hooked with participation as they watched the 14 talented boxers showcase their skills in 3 intense 2-minute rounds. The event was a tremendous success, and the Chino Youth Boxing Foundation is already looking forward to next year's event. Join me in congratulating the Chino Boxing Foundation coaches and boxers. I'd like to call up Ray Morales, Chino Youth Boxing Foundation Vice President. Ray? There's- Okay, Ray, we have some certificates for the kids. Okay, so I'm going to let you read them off. Okay.
Jesse Rodriguez. Jesse Rodriguez. Vincent Gonzalez. Jonathan Torres. Robert Rodriguez. Kijan Tan. I don't think he's here. No. Johnny Cerna. Uriel Padilla. Andrew Barrios. He's not here. Anthony Orozco. He's not here. Luis Zamora. Oh, big guy. Anthony Ramirez. Oh. Ricardo Navarro. He's not here.
Now, Ray, I would like you to explain to the audience a little bit about the program and why these gentlemen are getting these certificates.
The program's been around since, I believe, the 70s, even late 60s. But what well, not me, but what the program teaches them is sportsmanship, work ethics, and just put in hard work on anything you do. These kids, they're new coming up. They train hard, as Councilman Flores would contest to that. But these kids, they're outstanding. They're to today's society, they're like second to none. They give a lot of their time and effort. It's not just about boxing. It really never was just about boxing. They come in with the mentality that it's about boxing, but then they learn that it's not just about boxing. It's about giving back, about working hard in school or whatever they do. And we've been blessed. The city of Chino has been blessed with the program that we're recognized wherever we travel out of state. We've been recognized with our team, the way they behave, the way they conduct themselves, the way they perform. And that's something that we've all been proud of, the coaches and myself, when I was there, that we get that recognition from people from out of state, across the country, that they give us that. So that's great, and I just hope they continue. And I know some of these guys are going to compete in the national tournament coming up in November, so I wish you guys luck. And we'll be there to support you guys, okay? That's going to be in Compton. That's the first stage. That's the district, then the regionals, and then the nationals in Kansas City. So we've been there many years with our kids from Chino. They got to earn the spot. It's not given to them. So when they go there, they're number one in 5 states. So we've been fortunate that we've been there, but looking forward for these guys to get there one day, and I know they will with all the hard work and they do. So, and I thank everybody for giving us the opportunity to showcase, I should say, what they've done, and we'll get to Chris right now. And thank you.
Chris gets to come down in a minute. These young men are very, very impressive. Their parents are behind them. The coaches are absolutely phenomenal. So if you ever hear about a boxing match coming up here in the NAC, please come and join them, because it's pretty impressive to watch these guys. They're very supportive of each other. Now, they look really stern here, but honestly, they do smile. I've seen it. I've personally experienced smiles from these kids, especially this one, right? Anyway, thank you. She wants to get a picture.
Thank you so much.
Now, to conclude the event, after months of training in support of the Chino Youth Boxing Foundation, Councilmember Christopher Flores entered the ring and sparred against a former boxing team member who grew up in the program, Francisco Juarez Jr. I'd like to call Chris down right now. And there, there's the photo of him. There's the actual proof. He did there's your picture. So what was it you were called during the match? What was it?
Fist of Fury. Yeah, Fist of Fury. I didn't coin that name on my own, so yeah.
Anyway, we're really proud of you, Chris, and here's a certificate in recognition of that night.
I didn't know this was going to happen.
He's such a good sport, and I told him before he entered the ring, do not get injured. Protect your head. We need you on the council. He really went after the guy. He really did. So congratulations, Chris.
Thank you. Oh, that's the...
I think Chris is up for any challenge. So any of you that have a challenge for him, let's hear it. Okay, next we have Business of the Month. This esteemed establishment has consistently demonstrated golly grief, I'm going to start over. This esteemed establishment has consistently demonstrated an unwavering commitment to excellence in service, environmental responsibility, and customer satisfaction. With their dedication to preserving the pristine appearance of our garments and their continued efforts to minimize their ecological footprint, this business has set a shining example for businesses in our area. For the month of October 2023, we would like to recognize All-Star Dry Cleaners as our Business of the Month. I'd like to call up representatives, Coach and Rupal Shikari. Please join me up front. All-Star Cleaners operates a non-toxic and environmentally friendly wet and dry cleaning establishment. Customer service and the satisfaction of client is the highest priority. All-Star's goal is to clean and finish all garments professionally and restore them to look their very best. All-Star has been a dry cleaning operator for the last 28 years. This local business provides special service and discounts to all law enforcement and first responders. All-Star works with schools, sports teams, and other nonprofit organizations to assist in their fundraising efforts. All-Star is a team player in the community and refers customers to businesses throughout Chino. They encourage community businesses to place their advertisements and promotional materials on their countertops to foster shopping small business and also enjoy bartering with other local businesses. When asked why All-Star chose to operate in Chino, they said that it's a great place to live and do business, but specifically, they appreciate Chino's diversity of culture and beliefs. They consider Chino a great melting pot of people who care for and respect each other. Please congratulate All Star Dry Cleaners for being our October 2023 Business of the Month recipient. And I'd like you to present this plaque, and it reads, "Congratulations, All Star Cleaners, October 2023. Chino Business of the Month. The City of Chino thanks you for being a part of the Chino community." And it's presented this day.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, all the council members. Thank you for recognizing us. I appreciate all the support from all the residents of Chino. We have been awarded last 3 years the best dry cleaners also for 21, 22, and 23, and that comes with all your support. We strive best that we can. We have done a great job, and we would love to cater to more of your business. Thank you. Oh, we are located right at Schaefer and Euclid in the Stater Brothers Shopping Center, and we would love to see you guys there sometime. Thank you.
Okay, next we have the Mayor's Home Beautification Award. I'd like to call up Junior Valdivia, 11834 Oregon Street. Junior. Junior, I'd like to congratulate you and thank you for your continued improvement and maintenance of your home, resulting in a substantial contribution to the overall appearance of the community. So we have the certificate for you. We have a picture of your beautiful home, which is up on the screen. We have a lapel pin and a pencil set. And of course, we have the coveted Home Beautification Award sign that if you choose, you can put it in your yard. Would you like to say a few words?
Well, thank you. It's always trying to keep it up every month on detail. So that's why I strive for, even for work.
Do you do your own yard work?
No, I have someone that does it. I don't have time. So it's too much work.
It is a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful, beautiful home. Thank you very much for your
Well, thank you all. It's a pleasure.
How long have you lived in Chino?
I'm actually lived in Chino Hills for about 30 years, and then the rest in Chino. No,
How long have you actually lived in Chino?
Chino since 2009.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And of course, you like the flatlanders better than the hill people, right?
Actually, I like both.
Darn. Well, congratulations, Junior.
Thank you.
She wants to see the picture. Congratulations. We have a special recognition of St. Margaret Mary's Catholic Church, their 75th anniversary. Tonight, we have the honor of recognizing a significant milestone in the history of our community. It's with great pleasure that we celebrate the 75th anniversary of St. Margaret Mary Catholic Church. I'd like to call up Father Resty to join me up in front. Father? In the year 1908, Our Lady of Guadalupe Parish stood as the first Catholic church in Chino. As our beloved city grew, the need for a new sister church became apparent. On October 22, 1946, a delegation from Our Lady of Guadalupe Catholic Church approached the Chino Planning Commission with an application for the zoning and construction of a new parish. In 1947, the bishop formed the second parish, St. Margaret Mary Catholic Church. The very first Mass within the walls of this new parish located on Central Avenue took place on October 17, 1947, led by Father Philip Watts. For 75 years, St. Margaret Mary Catholic Church has been a beacon of faith, a source of inspiration, and a pillar of strength for our community. Through the power of prayer, they have fostered a spirit of gratitude, joy, and hope that continues to uplift the hearts and souls of their parishioners. To accept this well-deserved recognition, please join me in welcoming Father Resty Galang, the pastor of St. Margaret Mary Catholic Church. And I'd like to present you with a certificate of recognition of 75 years. And Father, would you like to say a few words?
I'd like to, of course, say my sincerest gratitude on behalf of our parishioners, and we wish to continue to be a source of spiritual strength in our community, and that you are all invited in our 75th anniversary celebration on October 15. Again, thank you so much for this great and beautiful recognition for St. Margaret Mary Parish.
And thank you for all you do for our community. And she wants to get a picture. Thank you very much. City Manager Reich, do we have any additions or changes in our agenda?
No changes, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Next is the time for the general public to address the council on items that do not appear elsewhere on the agenda. We do ask that you state your name and address if you're comfortable doing that. We can't take action on anything that's not agendized, but we do encourage you to communicate with us. Is David Bustamante here? He was going to lead us in prayer this evening. Since he isn't here, I'm going to ask Rob Burns. If you'd like to join us, please stand.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, Lord Jesus, we just ask that you would be in this proceedings. We thank you for the freedom that we have to be able to do the people's business as we see fit and as the council and the mayor represent the residents of Chino. We pray that all decisions made tonight would be for the benefit of the residents. We pray that you'd watch over our first responders, keep them safe. Lord, help them to do the job that they've been called to do and to return to their families safely. So we thank you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Rob. Okay. We have no written, we do? Okay. No public communication. We have no hang on just a moment. Natalie, this one, is this number 12? Okay. Request to speak under general communication. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to address the council on any items not on the agenda? Okay, seeing none, then we will move on to our consent calendar. Do any council members wish to have items pulled or discussed? Okay, seeing none, then I would entertain a motion in a second. Okay, there's a motion from Councilman Flores, second from Councilman Lucio. Please vote. And the consent calendar passes 4 yes with 1 absent. Mayor Pro Tem Comstock is on a approved leave of absence and will return next council meeting. Next item on the agenda is item number 12. It's a public hearing. Prior to the council making any decisions, the audience will be asked for any input that you have. Item number 12 is Philadelphia Street Industrial Development Project Appeal and East End Annexation. This item is to conduct a public hearing, adopt resolution number 2023-56, approve the introduction of ordinance number 2023-019, adopt resolution number 2023-057, and adopt resolution number 2023-058 regarding the Philadelphia Street Industrial Development Project Appeal and East End Annexation. I'd like to declare the public hearing open and request a staff report from Kim Lee, Associate Planner, and Warren Morleone, our Director of Development Services.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. Before you tonight is a pre-zone and annexation, as well as an appeal of Planning Commission's action approving the Philadelphia Street Industrial Development Project located within the annexation area. As of Friday, staff received a letter from the appellant withdrawing their appeal. That letter is provided to you on the dais. As also provided on the dais is a replacement for Exhibit I, which is the environmental consultant's response to the appeal. The consultant revised the exhibit due to some grammatical errors, and a clean copy is provided before you. Since the appeal was withdrawn, I will only be presenting the pre-zone and annexation that is associated with the industrial development. The annexation area is 56.87 acres located in the northern part of the city's sphere of influence. The Philadelphia Street Industrial Development Project is outlined in red. The east end annexation area is outlined in blue, and the northern sphere of influence is outlined in yellow as depicted in the slide before you. The proposed pre-zone and annexation is intended to transfer the east end annexation area from the county to the city and establish M1 and M2 zoning for those properties. The proposed pre-zoning is consistent with the City of Chino's general plan land use map. The map on the left is the general plan map that shows the land use designations of light industrial and general industrial. The map on the right is the proposed pre-zone, which shows zoning of M1, which is consistent with the light industrial general plan land use designation, and then an M2, which is also consistent with our general industrial general plan land use designation. The M1 zoning allows for a variety of industrial uses, lighter in nature, that produce relatively limited volumes of traffic, noise, odors, and pollutants. The M2 zone is the city's heaviest industrial zone and allows for a broad range of manufacturing, warehousing, and storage industrial uses. A plan for surface and physical impact analysis has been prepared for the proposed annexation, which analyzed costs associated with the city taking over servicing this area in relation to the anticipated revenue from property taxes. 2 property tax share scenarios were analyzed, where the city receives half its property tax share of 5.4% and its full property tax share of 10.8% of the 1% of property tax collected from property owners. Traditionally, the city receives half the tax share for annexations not considered an island annexation, which in this case is not an island annexation. However, the full tax share was analyzed because the city has reached out to begin discussions about obtaining the full tax share for all future annexations. The annexation would result in an annual deficit of $2,200 per year under the half property tax share scenario. As part of the East End annexation, there is a proposal to subdivide 3.59 acres of land into 3 parcels and construct 3 industrial buildings at the northwest corner of Philadelphia Street and East End Avenue. The graphic on the left shows the location of the proposed industrial development, and the graphic on the right shows the site plan of the proposed development with the 3 industrial buildings. On April 5th, 2023, a neighborhood meeting was held in the council chambers where staff and the applicant provided information about the annexation process and the proposed industrial development. In general, the public expressed concerns about the existing truck traffic that would be generated in the area and the recently proposed CarMax auto auction project filed with the county. Additional comments and concerns were raised regarding noise, pollution, operations of non-permitted outdoor retail sales, and the need for public improvements, and the final design of the railroad crossing to the south, just north of County Road. Staff informed the attendees that the city will be able to provide code enforcement and police to the area annexed. In response to the truck traffic concerns raised at the neighborhood meeting, a supplemental traffic impact analysis was completed. The updated study included traffic impacts of the recently proposed CarMax project, and new traffic counts were conducted, including updated truck traffic analysis. The study resulted in the same conclusion as the original traffic analysis, in that the project will not cause significant traffic impacts. The Planning Commission held a duly noticed public hearing on July 19th, 2023. Prior to the hearing, staff received 2 letters from residents expressing concerns about the existing road conditions along East End Avenue. At the hearing, 7 people spoke. In general, the people who spoke had concerns about the existing truck traffic and the additional truck traffic that would be generated from the proposed industrial development. Additional comments and concerns were raised regarding noise, pollution from large trucks, the operation of non-permitted uses, such as street vending, and the need for repairs and improvements to neighboring streets. Following the public hearing, the Planning Commission approved the industrial development project and recommended the City Council adopt the M&D and approve the pre-zone and annexation. An M&D has been prepared for this project. The M&D identified potentially significant environmental impacts that could occur as a result of the project. However, mitigation measures have been identified and reduce impacts to less than significant. In response to the public notice, the city clerk received a letter from William McCombs requesting the city to annex the full width of East End Avenue. Historically, jurisdictional boundaries are to the center line of the street. Staff had previously reached out to LAFCO because the same question came up. LAFCO informed staff they would not support annexing the full width of the street due to jurisdictional challenges related to police, code enforcement, and utilities. Also, there have been questions about roadway improvements along East End Avenue on the county side because of a sign posted in the area. Staff has contacted the county. The improvements were limited to a cul-de-sac on Taft Avenue. However, staff has contacted the county supervisor's office and has agreed to do joint improvements to East End Avenue. Council, as a reminder, the appeal has been withdrawn. Therefore, staff is recommending that the council adopt the M&D, approve the pre-zone annexation, and request LAFCO to initiate annexation proceedings for the pre-zone and annexation. That concludes my presentation. I'll be happy to answer any questions. I would also like to point out that the applicant's consultant team is here as well to answer any technical questions.
Thank you very much, Kim. Okay, I have 3 written requests to speak on this item. First is Thomas, is it Ruhr? R-U-R?
R-U-I-Z.
Oh, R-U-I-Z, okay, Ruiz.
Good evening. My name is Thomas Ruiz. I'm a representative for the Laborers International Union of North America, located in San Bernardino. We represent about 1,700 members throughout the county that primarily work in construction, building highways, solar facilities, improving street infrastructure. But we also have a large amount of members that work in industrial warehousing, developing these sites, and we've appreciate your support in the past on some of these projects that have been able to put many of our men and women to work in the city of Chino. You know, LIUNA, the Laborers International Union, is also a place for opportunity for men and women, you know, some for their second chance, some trying to find a career, because that's what we're about. We're about building careers in the construction industry, not just providing one job here, one job there, but also creating a career path where folks can have health insurance and a retirement. And that starts with each and every one of these jobs that you guys have the opportunity to approve. Without the jobs moving forward, a lot of our folks end up sitting on an out-of-work list waiting to go to work, right? And so we've always appreciated your leadership and what you have done here in the city of Chino, and we look forward for your support on this project as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Thomas. Next is Dean Waschel.
Good evening, Mayor Alua and council members and staff. I represent PAMA Management. We're the applicant. And I just want to say thank you, Kim. You did a phenomenal job of presenting kind of the whole process and the project. The one thing I do want to say is that this has been a 5-year project for us. I mean, we put this site into escrow back in 2018, and our first preliminary application design review with the city was in 2019. So it's been we've kind of jumped back and forth between the city and the county because we knew it had to be annexed in. It's been a long and arduous process, but we've worked well with the city and conformed to all of the requests that they've had, and we're excited. I'm really glad to see, you know, Thomas and all of the orange shirts out here. I think it's great that they've come out in numbers, and it just goes to show you how many jobs, you know, this will produce. But I'm going to keep it at that, and I'm happy to answer any questions that, you know, any of you have.
Okay, thank you very much. Next written request to speak is Jose, is it Radil?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jose Rodillo, and I'm a proud member of La Yuna. Like the developer said, when you have a developer working, is committed and working with La Yuna, it gives individual like myself a second chance in life, an opportunity, re-entry. It was a project just like this one 19 years ago that gave me a second chance. I have matured, and now I'm a productive member of society. La Yuna enabled me to obtain the skills needed to succeed in today's economy. It created a pathway into society, bridging that gap from poverty to middle class. Yet I'm certain that this project will present someone else with that same opportunity. A developer working in conjunction with La Yuna, it's a win-win for everyone, with the community. I mean, it's so amazing. Projects like this will create jobs. It helps us obtain the hours that we need to get our private health insurance, our pension, our annuity. I just want to thank you guys for being in support of this project, and thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for being here. Those are the only written requests to speak I have. Is there anyone else in the audience that would like to address the council on this item? Okay, seeing none, we'll close the public hearing and turn it over to council discussion. Mark? No? Chris? Curtis?
I do have a couple of questions, a couple of comments as well, Mayor. I wanted to know and just confirm that when we begin construction out there on the roadway, that the county will also do theirs at the same exact time. So the roadway's consistent from Philadelphia all the way up to Francis along East End. It's going to look great, so to speak, after that happens. Is that correct?
Francis, so Philadelphia in front of the project will certainly be done. We're in discussions with the county because we want them to do the work at the same time. I'm not certain that this project is not going all the way up to Francis. This project will just be in front of where the project is located. So our hope is that the county would then do the east side of the street on East End. And then the Philadelphia side would be our responsibility.
But we have already contacted
Yes,
them.
we have reached out, we've spoken with the supervisor, we've asked for his support on that, and we're hoping that they will do the work. They've got a project right now in the county, it's the Montclair Chino road improvement project that they are working on, so they've done some streets up there. We are hoping that they will be able to do East End at the same time. But I can't give a guarantee that it's gonna go all the way up to Francis.
Okay. I know that there are some folks that live in the Sullivan Ranch development that have some major concerns about this, and I want to let them know that we're going to do everything that we can to keep things, the disruptions out there to a minimum. But just everything that we do, it's going to enhance their ability to travel back and forth and their quality of life in and out of their development. So that's a good thing. The other thing I wanted to ask, maybe to Fred, are there any civil or legal issues as far as the annexation to the center line versus going over to the east roadway edge? Do we have any issues with that?
Yes, happy to respond, if I may, Mayor. Pardon me. I think your associate planner, Ms. Lay, actually explained it well. And I've spoken with your development services staff and confirmed that all of the property boundary lines, jurisdictional boundary lines, I should say, around the city where streets are fronting those jurisdictional lines all go to the center line. You don't have any circumstances where the city's jurisdictional line covers the entire street. And as Ms. Lay explained, it's because LAFCO ultimately sets those boundaries, and there are policy reasons why having one jurisdiction cover the entire road is just not consistent with good policy for utility reasons, law enforcement, and various other issues that the LAFCO representative has explained to the city.
Thank you. And a question for Warren. Can you just explain to the public a little bit about your explanation to me about how LAFCO works, and if we were to go over an annex, how LAFCO would require us to take a bigger chunk at that point? Can you explain that a little bit?
Sure, I can explain the process that we typically go through. So in this case, we have a private developer that's coming in wanting to annex their property into the city. So in this case, the project boundary is identified. Can you pull up the screen? I'm looking at a screen with a map. Is identified in red here on the map on the left screen. And what happens is, because they want to annex in, and the goal of LAFCO, Local Agency Formation Commission, they want to see our sphere, which is it's the county area that's identified for the city, to one day come into the city. So what LAFCO does is they work with the developer to identify a logical boundary to annex, understanding that doing little project areas doesn't really get the job done, so to speak. So they look at bigger areas, and the key issue is logical boundaries. So in this case, the developer worked with LAFCO, in addition to the city, touching base with the city, and identified a project area. So as you notice on this exhibit, that the project, the annexation area in blue is much bigger than the project area, and that's typical. We work with the developers and LAFCO and the city, and they identify the project area. So in this case, LAFCO identified a much bigger area as a logical boundary to annex into the city. So that's typically what will happen. It's, in most cases, not all, in most cases, it's bigger than a typical project area. Because again, the goal is one day for the county area within the city sphere of influence to one day be annexed in the city and become part of the city. Other cities have the same thing. Many cities have already annexed all their sphere area or their county areas. In this case, the city has still a number of acres left to annex, and this is one project that's being proposed.
Great, thank you. And I would just like to thank our staff for the hours and hours of time that you spent putting this project together, working with the applicant. And I would really like to thank our Planning Commission. They spent a lot of time, Mayor and council members, discussing this issue, and it was tough. It was a lot of tough questions that came about. So the Planning Commission, that the commissioners that are still here, thank you very much. You did a great job. I really appreciate your time and your effort. So, Mayor, I don't have any other questions.
Okay. Warren, along the boundary lines, there's a strange split between LA County and San Bernardino County that we've talked about for decades needs to be cleaned up. And I notice on this annexation a very strange little push-out area to the LA County line without taking it all, because that county line splits buildings. Are we ever going to initiate any kind of activity to clean up that boundary?
Great question, Mayor. We lately, with this project, we've talked about it a lot. We've actually had a representative from a property owner for the buildings that are split by that boundary. And they're asking for that issue to be the discussion to start. So we internally are talking about it, and we would love to move forward with it. We just know it's a long, lengthy process because we have to get both counties involved, LA County, San Bernardino County, and both cities, Pomona and Chino, to get this thing moving forward. LAFCO had mentioned that that's the first step, is to work with those 4 agencies, and then it would move on to LAFCO. But the important part is it's known. LAFCO supports the annexation as proposed with this issue, and are willing to support this annexation, understanding that that has to be taken care of down the road. And the other important thing is LAFCO realizes to wait to burden this property owner for development and annexing for so many years it's going to take, however long it's going to take. It doesn't seem like it would be realistic, so they are allowing this to move forward. But you're absolutely right, Mayor. That is something that staff would love to move forward with, and hopefully we can soon, because we envision it's going to take a little while to work through.
Well, and I would, obviously, we don't want to attach it to this development because the development would never go forward. But as was mentioned, they've already spent 5 years on this, and this is just a normal annexation. So cleaning up these boundaries is probably going to take 20 years. I mean, the government moves so slow, it's ridiculous. So I would encourage us to initiate the activity to get this started because it has been being discussed for decades. So I would like to see that cleaned up. As far as the issue is concerned with taking the entire street, I certainly understand the concerns that were written to us about East End Avenue. But again, that would make one exception to every other area that we have within our community that's the split between the city and the county, where everything else goes to the center of the street. This would be one street that would be an exception, which could be very confusing in times of emergency. So we've been looking at island annexations and how we're going to move forward in our sphere. Do we have anything identified in this area to go further east in a separate action?
Nothing yet, Mayor. We are moving forward with the Ramona Francis annexation, and then once we get direction from the council on whether to move forward with other island annexations or other annexations, we'll definitely do that, but nothing identified yet.
Okay. I don't know when our next workshop, Linda, is going to be on annexations, but I would encourage you to get that scheduled so that we can continue to move forward. I do have a question about point of sale for CarMax. Has anyone had a discussion with them about making that site a point of sale?
We've discussed it internally, Mayor, but we haven't reached out yet. That's going to be the next thing we're going to do. If car dealerships are anything like CarMax, it's where the person lives who buys the house, buys the car. So if someone buys a car from MK Smith and they live in Upland, that would go to Upland. So we're guessing it would be like that, but we haven't confirmed yet.
That would certainly help offset the cost of street repairs and stuff, if we could get the sales tax. I know that particular area because my son brings it up constantly, is a hotbed for vendors that are creating quite a nuisance, especially on the corner of Philadelphia and East End. So with this annexation and our police department being out there even more, I'm hoping that the PD and code enforcement will join forces and even across the street in the county area, really clean that up. Because I've had a lot of complaints from the residents and businesses in that area about the vendors that are constantly there. So those are all my comments right now. Gentlemen, did you have anything to add? Christopher? No? Okay, well, if there isn't any more discussion, then I would encourage a motion and a second in support of the modified action that was noted by Ms. Lee.
And that just includes all of the proposed action by in the agenda except for the resolution overturning the appeal.
Yes. Okay, we have a motion from Councilman Burton and a second from Councilman Lucio. City Attorney Galante, would you please read the ordinance in the record?
Certainly, thank you, and please bear with me, this is a long title. Before the City Council is ordinance number 2023-019, entitled An Ordinance of the City Council of the City of Chino, California, pre-zoning 52.32 acres of land to light industrial, M1, and 4.55 acres of land to general industrial, M2, for parcels generally located south of Francis Avenue, west of East End Avenue, north of Philadelphia Avenue, and a small portion south of Philadelphia Street, APN 1013-261-17, 1013-271-01, -10-11-06-13-14, 1013-521-04, 05, 11, 14, 15, 16, 18, 1013, 531, 04, 07, 1016, 011, 02, 03, 05, 06, 08, 09, 10, and 15. Within the City of Chino sphere of influence and in connection with pre-zone annexation PL 20-0003 and amending ordinance number 2010-06. And that's being read by title only and waiving further reading. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, and the item does pass 4 yes with 1 absent. Okay, moving on. Under new business, item number 13, adoption of resolution number 2023-059, Transportation Development Grant, TDA, Article 3, Transit Stop Access Improvement Grant. This is to adopt the resolution accepting the Transportation Article 3 grant. Our staff report this evening will be provided by our management analyst, Musette Ayala, and our Director of Public Work, Hai-Jin Lee, our new Director of Public Works. You have to turn it on.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and members of the City Council. On July 11, 2013, the city was awarded $127,648,000 from the San Bernardino County Transportation Authority under the Transportation Development Act, Article 3, Transit Stop Access Improvement Program. Originally, these funds were allocated for the Central Avenue Sidewalk Access Ramps Improvement Project and 7th Street Riverside Drive to Chino Transit Center Improvement Project. In the subsequent years, the city encountered a need for adjustments. On January 19, 2016, the city requested a deadline extension and a scope change. The change of scope modified the original project to design and construct additional sidewalks and access ramps near Riverside Drive and Central Avenue to replace the reduced limits and combine the project with the 7th Street Access Ramps project. This change was prompted by the conditions of approval, which stated that the developer was going to complete the construction. SBCTA approved these changes on April 25th, 2016. Further down the line, on April 10th, 2019, the city requested another extension, pushing the project completion date to December 31st, 2021, and confirmed the project change to the Riverside Drive Street Rehabilitation Project. SBCTA graciously approved this extension on April 17, 2019, and restated their support on May 17, 2019. Despite facing some delays, the project was substantially completed before the set deadline. However, final punch list items held the city back from seeking reimbursement with SBCTA, as per their stipulations that reimbursement could only be requested post-project completion. On September 6, 2022, the City Council approved a notice of completion for the Riverside Drive Rehabilitation Project. However, upon closer inspection of our internal processes, it was discovered that a reimbursement request had not been submitted. Subsequently, in 2023, SBCTA notified the city regarding the project's expiration date of December 21st, 2021, and rescinded the funds due to the perceived inactivity, leading staff to submit a request for reinstatement of the grant funds. I am pleased to inform you that that SBCTA granted the city's request to proceed with the reimbursement upon an approved resolution. Therefore, staff recommends adopting Resolution 2023-059, accepting the TDA funds in the amount of $127,648 and authorizing staff to file a claim for reimbursement with SBCTA. Adoption of the resolution includes a slight correction of the project's title, replacing sidewalk with street where referenced in the resolution. That concludes my report, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Okay, thank you very much. Any questions from council? Any comments from the audience? Okay, seeing none, then I would entertain a motion and a second. Motion from Councilman Lucio, second from Councilman Burton. Please vote. Item passes 4 yes with 1 absent. Item number 14, amendments to memorandums of understanding. This is an adjustment in compensation and terms and conditions of employment for affected members of the City of Chino. Staff report by our Deputy Director of Human Resources Risk Management, Debbie Pacheco, and our Director of Human Resources Risk Management, Jerry Ann Kingsland.
I turned it off. Oops, sorry. Thank you. Good evening, Mayor Ulloa and members of the City Council. The report before you, while substantial, is presented in detail for the purposes of transparency in what you're being asked to approve. The report calls for the following: placement of all sworn personnel at number 3 by rank at number 3 by rank order in total compensation in comparison to the City Council adopted survey cities. The approval to maintain these positions at number 3 was previously adopted by resolution and is a measure put into practice in order to attract and retain our police department's expertly trained and exceptionally high-performing sworn officers. It is brought forward tonight as a 4% adjustment that is needed to maintain sworn personnel at the number 3 position. Other benefits for sworn and non-sworn personnel, both full-time and part-time, are included to achieve desired parity across the organization. Where applicable, benefits for elected officials have been updated to maintain the practice of providing the same or similar benefits as those afforded to department directors. These benefits are not automatically paid out upon adoption. Rather, they are available to qualified council members. Additionally, a longevity benefit came before City Council earlier this fiscal year and was approved to be awarded starting at 20 years of service with the City of Chino. Although very appreciative of this acknowledgement, it came to management's attention that certain employees may never receive this recognition due to a variety of factors, including age at time of hire and retirement. Consideration is being requested to lower the initial longevity anniversary to 10 years of service. Longevity is a new benefit that directly addresses the city's ability and capacity to retain Chino's highly trained and tenured employees whose service demonstrates our exceptional work ethic and culture. In closing, the staff report, the attached resolutions, the memorandums of understanding with recognized bargaining groups in the city, along with several summaries of benefits for groups of unrepresented personnel, serve to codify agreements referenced in Resolution 2023-060 and 061. Your approval of these resolutions is requested. That concludes my report, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Debbie. Any questions from council members? Any comments or questions from the audience? Okay, seeing none, then I would entertain a motion in a second, please. Motion from Councilman Burton, second from Councilman Flores. Please vote. Item passes 4 yes with 1 absent. Next on the agenda is mayor and council reports. Oops, I'm going to keep mine very short. Let's see. Attended the Kiwanis Classic Choice on a Saturday night, the 23rd, which was fun like always. Let's see. Didn't do a whole lot this month because we were gone. Last night, Cynthia Moran and Mayor Rogers from Chino Hills and I, along with David Dennisheim from Chick-fil-A and Mark Miller, who is a renowned artist, met for dinner last night to talk about the event today, which was held from 8 to noon. It was attended by about 200 people. I really encourage you to do research about Mark Miller. He's an absolutely phenomenal author, and I hope everybody that attended today really enjoyed it. I'm just so impressed with him. Oh, thumbs up, great, Warren. Yeah, it was a great presentation, and the man is just a genius when it comes to leadership development. So I'm glad we had so many of our Chino employees attend. That's all I have this evening. Curtis.
Thank you, Mayor. On the 25th, I had my one-on-one with the city manager. The 27th, I, along with Council Member Lucio and Assistant City Manager Melendez, we attended the State of the County address, and that was very, very well attended, Mayor. There were a lot of people there. Obviously, every area of the county was represented. A lot of incredible things that are going to be going on in San Bernardino County in the next couple of years. So stand by. A lot of transportation projects, rail projects, above ground and underground. So it's pretty exciting, the things that are going to be coming up, and we're going to be part of that as well. On the 20th, I met with our HR, I'm sorry, the 2nd of October, I met with our HR staff, and then I followed up with another one-on-one meeting with the city manager. And Mayor, that concludes my report.
Okay, thank you very much. Councilman Flores.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. On September 11th, I had a housing committee meeting with Councilmember Councilmember Burt. And on September 12th, I had a special needs collaborative event, and that was held with some of our collaborating organizations around town, and we're expecting hopefully a big event this coming year. On the 14th of September, I attended and this was all through Zoom, a general plan consultant meeting with our general plan consultant, Andrew Hill. And other than that, I'm gonna keep it brief. As you guys seen, I was out for the past month, and I was just traveling. So at the first meeting in September, it was reported that, Father Michael Maher, who built St. Paul's, had passed away back in August. And for the last 3 years, I was, one of, 5 or 6 caretakers for him. And Father Mike was from Ireland. And, leading up to the days before his death, he kept asking me and a couple of us to go attend Ireland on his behalf. And we always fought it. We told him we'll only go if we bring you with us. And he said, no, I can't go. And keep a long story short, when he passed away, we found it in our hearts to, have a tribute trip for him. And we went out there, we met with his family, and we had a great time, and, got to know a little bit about Father Mike and why he joined the priesthood, and his childhood, his upbringing, and just everything that's involved with that. So that was pretty amazing. And that's the story I'm using, but the truth is, as you guys heard, I had this boxing event, and at the boxing event, I got this really, really bad black eye, and the mayor said, hey, we don't want anybody to see that, so what we're going to say is that you're in Ireland, and we'll let it heal for about a month. So I came back, and none of you noticed it, so I'm happy about that. I'm totally kidding, by the way. But, with that being said, Mayor, again, I'm happy to be back, and that concludes my comments.
Well, so now he's officially Irish.
Well, I've got to tell you, he did go to my homeland in Ballymena, which is in Northern Ireland. He stopped by and actually got a photograph by the signpost of the city, so that was pretty neat. So thank you very much for going by there.
Of course.
I hope my relatives treated you well out there.
No, they did. Yeah, they did. I got a couple of free pints of Guinness out there. That's for sure. No, I'm just kidding. Totally kidding.
Next, you're going to want to be a leprechaun or something. I don't know, Christopher. Mark?
Yes, mine's going to be short too. On September 20th through the 22nd, I attended the League of California Cities annual conference with Mayor Pro Tem Comstock and Assistant City Manager Jackie Melendez. I will say I didn't realize that you can have a booth and advertise your city only if you win a Helen Putnam Award, and we didn't win a Helen Putnam Award, so we didn't have the opportunity to showcase our city. But one of the cities that did showcase themselves there was the city of Rialto, and they showcased themselves based on their swag, like a presentation they did on swag. And then, of course, I was with Karen, who used to be the chief of police for Chino PD, and she said, this was modeled after our swag program. We should have highlighted ourselves in that and really showcased our city. So, in looking at that, there's things that we do here, like, for example, our real-time crime center that is state-of-the-art. That's something that we should be promoting so that we can show them the innovative things that we're doing here in the city of Chino, so that we can promote our city, so that we can have a booth there, so that we can show them that, we're not just a small town, but we're a small town that's innovative, that's growing, that's, forward-thinking. So that's something I want to put in staff's heads, that if we have something like the Real Crime Center, let's put that in. If we have something that we're doing innovative here in the city, let's put that in. Let's start getting recognized for some of the great things that we're doing, and stop being a city that does great things but doesn't showcase ourselves. I think that's something that we've always lacked, and we do a lot of great things, but we don't talk about it. And I think it's part of being humble, but at the same time, nobody will know us unless we go out there and show what we truly are, and show that this is a place where people should come to live and people should come here because of the great things that we do. So that's just a challenge I put out to our staff. You know, let's go out there and come up with some things that we can submit and see if we can win some awards there, so we can, you know, showcase our city. On the 26th, I attended a meeting with the city manager. On the 27th, I attended the State of the County, and they did a great job the way they kind of did like a question and answer. They brought up every single supervisor to kind of talk a little bit about what's going on in their area and what are some of the highlights. So that was a great way to do that state of the city. They also had some robots there because they have a robotic warehouse here in the San Bernardino County that they wanted to showcase, and they were also a sponsor in the city. But it was great to see that type of technology that's actually occurring here in San Bernardino County. And then on the 3rd, today, I attended the Smart Leadership with Mark Miller. And, you know, it's one of those things when you're, you know, and throughout the years, I've taken a lot of different leadership classes, but, you know, you always got to keep continuing to take more and more, because, you know, everybody's going to have a different way of thinking, a different way of learning. And so that he had some things that really kind of resonated with me. And then, you know, like I told the mayor, I really wish I would have brought my wife, because she took over a command, and I think, you know, she's looking at ways of how to get it going in the right direction that she wants to get it going, because every leader has their own style. And, you know, whenever you lead a type of organization, you want to get everybody on your mindset or your vision. So that's what it talked about, and I think that helped us with, you know, how we need to start thinking. You know, we need to come together, look at a vision, and then he talked about having a 1-year plan and a 30-year plan. Where do you want to see yourself in a year, and where do you want to see yourself in 30 years? So that's something that I think that we've been doing, you know, meeting in our workshops, and where we want to see the city, because, as you know, just by looking at the annexations that we're doing and the continuous growth that we're having, we're not that 70 or 80,000 people that we were once at one time, and the services that we're providing are now going to be eventually for people that are, you know, 120 to 140 people, and we need our services and our buildings and everything else need to grow to meet, and our staffing needs to grow to be able to meet those expectations. And I think, you know, some folks, it needs, you know, we need to come together and, you know, how are we going to get that done, and what do we have to do to accomplish those goals? And so I think that was a great thing to bring him in, because I think he really, at least in my mind, turned my mindset to, okay, we got to start thinking forward, because, you know, eventually 30 years is going to be here, but how do we want to be in 30 years? You know, do we want to be, you know, some people said, do you want to live life by chance, or do you want to live life planned? But you'll always have a better life if you planned it. So I'll just leave with that, but it was a great presentation. I really enjoyed it. Thanks for having that, Mayor. And I'll end with that. Thank you.
As Cynthia and I had partnered with Chick-fil-A 4 years ago and had Mark Miller out, and that was so great. And we were hoping to have it every 2 years, but then COVID hit. So at least 4 years later, we have it, and we're hoping to have him again. He's a great, great author. City Manager Reich.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I want to thank you for your leadership on the leadership summit that we had today. It was really fantastic. We had the opportunity for a number of our leaders here in Chino to go, and we also, many of us went last year, and the book was Chestnut Checkers, which was a really good book about leadership, and the new book, Smart Leadership. So we're really looking forward to reading that book as well, because here in the city of Chino, we want to provide the best service we can, and to do that, we need to build leaders within our organization. So I think we all enjoyed it as well. So thank you for that, and we look forward for it in 2 more years instead of 4. Next, I want to thank the entire council for your support for our law enforcement and making sure that we retain the best that we can. For us to lose some of our members to other cities really hurts us. We need to maintain the excellent law enforcement services we have here in Chino. People know don't come to Chino and do crime, because they will be caught. So thank you for that. Thank you for that leadership. And finally, I'm excited to announce the promotion of our new Development Services Director, Warren Morellian, and I'd like him to come up and just say a few words. I know you all know him. He was formerly our city planner.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you for your trust, of course. I know Linda put me through an extensive interview process, so thank you, Linda, for trusting in me. Council, thank you very much, too, for trusting me and all the projects and everything that I do. And I also wanted to say thanks to everybody in terms of the staff members. I always feel like I get support from the staff members, so that's key. Planning commissioners that are still here, I really appreciate residents, developers. So I always say that while I don't live in Chino, it's a home to me. As you know, I left Chino. I started in 2004. I ended up leaving to chase my career. One of the things my wife said, she says, you can leave, but you got to come home. So I had to go a distance where I could always make it home. The last stint was 87 miles door to door, so it was really rough, 5 days a week. And then I had a chance to come back. And when I came back, it felt right. It felt right to this day. And so I really appreciate everybody's support, including the council members. You guys are awesome. I always say, I was telling Councilman Flores today, you guys are approachable. I've worked at other cities that aren't. So we appreciate that hands-on touch with the council member while we work for Linda, the city manager. Your support has been great. And like I said, I don't want to underemphasize the support from the other directors and staff. It is an amazing place. I know we say that, but I just wanted to say it is an amazing city to work for. And I'll be here the rest of, as long as Linda will keep me. So thank you.
Well, thank you, Warren, and congratulations. It's amazing how many employees leave and then find out that the grass is not greener on the other side of the fence and come back, like Jackie. And I told Jackie when she left, you'll be back, and she is, so. Anything else, Linda?
That's it, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, Attorney Galante.
Nothing to report. Whatever I have is generally not for public consumption, so
Sounds ominous.
thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, who's going to step in for? Andy.
Once again, the Chino Police Department will be partnering with Loma Linda Cancer Care Center to raise funds for a cure. It's only the 3rd of October, but city employees have already raised $2,500.
Oh my gosh.
We've created a T-shirt internally. It's very popular, very well done, Chasing a Cure T-shirt. We sold enough of them to raise $2,500. Wow. We're doing a second batch that's going to be available to the public. They'll be available for our department open house that's later this month on October 28th. That's a Saturday from 10 to 2. It's one of the best events of the year, especially for the public. We open the department up. There's station tours, canine demonstrations, motor demonstrations. There'll be fire and police vehicles on display. We have a very impressive haunted house for the kids, put together by some of our crime scene people. They do a really good job. There'll be plenty of candy. It's close to Halloween, so trick-or-treating. So if you're a member of the public, you want to meet your police department, you want to see the police department, please bring your family, have a good time. It's from 10 to 2, October 28th is a Saturday.
And the posse will be there too, huh?
Yeah. So if you can't make it then, you can meet your department tomorrow. It's National Coffee with a Cop Day. So Chino will be having our Coffee with a Cop at the Painted Dough. It's a donut shop at Riverside and Benson, 5702 Riverside. It'll be from 8 to 10 in the morning. And we'll have an opportunity to donate to the Cancer Center by selling some vintage patches. These haven't been around for decades. These are our old patches. We dolled them up. Police officers do not wear these on their uniforms. They're just for raising money for a cure, and it goes to the Loma Linda Cancer Care Center.
You didn't bring a T-shirt to show us what it looks like?
You're out of T-shirts.
Oh,
They're
you
out to
should've-
print.
You should have saved one.
I know. I wish I could have. I asked around, and we just didn't have a single one.
Wow.
So, but these patches are $10, cash or Venmo. You can get them at the Coffee with the Cop tomorrow morning at the Painted Dough, and we sell them directly to the public from our front desk at the station. So that's my report. Happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Thank you. Thank you,
All
Andy.
right, thank you.
You're up. Dave told me he was not going to be here this evening.
he is not. Mayor Ulloa, members of the council, city staff, and members of the community. My name is Dean Smith, and I'm on behalf of the Chino Valley Fire District and Fire Chief Dave Williams. I have just a couple of items to draw to your attention. Just some fun things to welcome both you, yourselves, and your family members, and also the community at large. And that is, the first thing is in Fire District Open House. That is held on Saturday, October 21st from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. That is, just for the record, going to be held at 5092 Schaefer Avenue in the city of Chino here at our Fire District Training Center and Fire Station 61. That's a great event for the family, all the young ones. We packed it out last year and actually sold out of hot dogs, so we are ready to go this year. I have a lot of flyers here for anybody that's interested, and I'll leave some with the clerk, the city clerk. The other event, and the second event that I'd like to draw your attention to, is something a little bit different. And I think we've already highlighted this here, but I want to bring it back to your attention, and that is the State of the Fire District. We have an event that we do annually, but we are going to change things up a little bit, and we are going to have a luncheon. There is a $30 fee associated with that, but that the proceeds go to the Chino Valley Fire Foundation and all the good work that we do to distribute trauma kits and AEDs throughout the community. So great event to be a part of. We'll not only be showcasing our district like we normally do through video presentation and some of the folks that are there representing the district, including our fire board members and some of our executive staff, but we'll also have different pieces of equipment on showcase for you there as well, just to really highlight some of the things that we do that are beyond what you might typically think of the fire service, including our commitment to emergency medical services and hazardous materials, our drone programs, and maybe even our new therapy dog. We'll see if it's there.
Well, Dean, I
Thank
have
you.
2 comments.
Yes, ma'am.
You're doing the State of the City luncheon because you have our Rita now.
Rita is really leading our cause, and we are so thankful to have her. Yes.
You're very blessed.
Yeah.
And then also, it's going to be interesting this year because your open house and PD fire, PD's open house is always within like a week of each other. So there's always kind of a competition who has more visitors. So
I don't know
it'll
if
be
it's a competition, no.
So it'll be
I agree.
interesting.
Not much of a competition, but we do support each other so tremendously in this community, and we're so blessed to be a part of it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dean. And I skipped right over public announcements, so I'm going to do it real quick right now before we adjourn. First, I'd like to remind our residents that the city's free residential community cleanup is taking place on October 14th. In collaboration with Waste Management, this event will run from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. at 13793 Redwood Street. This is a perfect opportunity for our residents to responsibly dispose of bulky, unwanted items such as old tires, electronics, and bricks. Be sure to bring proof of residency, like a California ID and a utility bill. Remember, hazardous waste will not be accepted at this event, but is accepted at the city's household hazardous waste collection held on the second and fourth Saturdays monthly. For more information on either program, please call 909-334-3266. Next, our partners at the Chino Valley Chamber of Commerce are hosting their annual Business Expo on Saturday, October 28th from 10 to 2 at the shops in Chino Hills. We invite our local business community to participate in this experience. It's a great opportunity to foster connections and engage with fellow businesses and prospective clients. This event is not just for businesses, though it's a day of community spirit and support, a chance for our residents to back local enterprises while enjoying live music, entertainment, and more. This event is open to all with free admission for attendees. For more detail, please visit Chino Valley Chamber of Commerce website at www.chinovalleychamber.com. And lastly, Halloween is just around the corner, so plan to bring your ghouls and goblins to the Chino's Halloween Spooktacular taking place on Tuesday, October 31st. We'll be gathering at Ruben S. Ayala Park, specifically fields 11, 12, and 13 from 4 to 9. Expect carnival rides, delightful food stalls, and eerie entertainment for everyone. For details on the purchase and pickup of pre-sale carnival wristbands and all things Halloween spectacular, please visit www.cityofchino.org/Halloween. And we're going to have a special event this year. We're going to have a balloon glow. So if any of you have never been to a balloon go, it is really, really fun because hot air balloons are set up. They don't actually go up. They just set them up, inflate them, and at night, and then they glow like great big balls of fire. They are really spectacular. I think there's going to be 4 balloons. So it'll be really fun this year, and they'll be passing out candy as well. So with that, we are adjourned to our next workshop, which will be held on Tuesday, October 10th at 6 p.m. Our regular meeting will be held on Tuesday, October 17th at 6, with closed session starting no earlier than 4 if needed. With that, we are adjourned.